everybody, welcome back to my channel, Wise Woman Enrichment. Today I want to do a video on 10 tips to be successful in college and after college, because these tips work within the 4 to 5 years you're in school, and then they're definitely tips that you can take with you everywhere you go. Just a little backstory on why I'm inspired to do this video. I graduated from college last year with my BA, and I learned a lot, obviously, but I learned a lot beyond the classroom, meaning, I learned about the importance of different parts of college that aren't academic, and I want to share that with current college students, incoming college students, someone who's about to graduate even because you're still in school, because I think these are really important tips, and had I had someone instill these in me sooner, maybe I could have got a little more out of my experience. Although I've had a great experience, I'm super content with my undergrad and just the internships and connections I did develop. I completely feel like I really got what I came there for academically, and then everything else beyond academics. However, there's always room for improvement in life, so I just want to share these tips that I've learned in my last 4 years. So if you're going to college right now, you can start early and get on it and do those things you need to do to be successful beyond the classroom, and also just personally with yourself. So actually, before I start, I kind of want to feature this shirt that my mom got made for me last year when I graduated, and it says limited edition class of 2020 college senior #quarantined the year when shit got real. Sorry, I'm trying to read it upside down. Anywho, the year when shit got real, for sure. So I thought, how perfect to record this video in my custom-made class of 2020 shirt when shit got real. So let's get started on my 10 tips for you. My first tip, and this is probably an obvious one, please network with your professors. Even if it's one or two, you don't need to have a phone book of your professor's contact info. It's totally not like that. But please get to know one or two professors well enough that they could write you a letter of recommendation. You will be asked for a letter of rec, whether that be for a job, for a master's program, a credentialing program, whatever it may be that you're heading into as you step into your professional career. You will probably be asked for a letter of recommendation from a professor if you're going kind of in an academic educational realm when it comes to career. And they cannot write you a letter of recommendation if they don't know you. So just find one or two professors that are within your major, that you enjoy, and that you feel like you can develop a rapport with, and then work on building that rapport. Go to office hours, email them, ask for feedback. If you get an essay back and there's comments on it, go to office hours, show that you're willing to learn, that you're willing to listen to feedback and grow as a student. Get to know them, talk about your dreams and goals, and if it's a professor that's doing something that's kind of in your ideal realm of work one day, then get to know them and ask them, how did you get to where you're doing? What should I do as an undergrad to eventually get to this final position or this job or this dream? And just grow and learn with them. And I think they enjoy that. They're not only there to just teach, but to mentor us. And at one point, they were us. So I think it's really important to lean on those professors that you feel like you can connect with. I definitely have a professor that I super connected with and feel like I have a solid relationship with. She's written me a few letters of rec, and I really enjoyed her classes and her as a person because I went out of my way to get to know her beyond just my professor. Okay, number 2, mentors. This is kind of similar to networking with your professor, because ideally you would want a professor to be your mentor, but you don't need a professor to be your mentor. I just think it's really important to find mentors in maybe types of work you want to do, or if you have a hobby and your hobby is, I don't know, organizing, going to protest. I'm going to use my own examples. I'm into that realm of stuff, so find mentors that are within that space. And I've definitely found mentors when it comes to organizing, social justice, nonprofit work. I found mentors in that capacity, and I found mentors that are simply just life mentors. And I think it's important to have both. So I encourage you to seek out mentorship. Look up to those people who have some wisdom to bestow upon us young people, and get to know someone who's willing to share some stories with you, share some wisdom, inspire you, encourage you, help you out need be. I have 2 mentors in mind that I'm thinking about, actually 3. I'm thinking of a professor, someone I worked with when I was in the nonprofit sector, and then also a mentor I met when I was writing a paper, and I interviewed him for my paper. I didn't know him prior. He was an older man. He ended up becoming just a huge mentor to me, and someone that I felt like I could lean on a lot when it came to just kind of life wisdom and encouragement. So I cannot stress how important it is to have mentors for your academic and career growth, but literally for your personal growth. Like, having mentors moves beyond just like seeing your career success, and really just like helping your heart and your soul when you need that type of upliftment and encouragement. Okay, number 3, internships. In my experience, I have not seen a lot of freshmen and sophomores have internships, although that doesn't mean that's in the entire truth. Like, there definitely probably are freshmen and sophomores who get internships. However, it seems like it's mostly juniors and seniors. But the point of this is, I really encourage trying to get an internship or 2 when you are an undergraduate, preferably an internship in your realm of work, your planned realm of work, or somewhere that falls within your major. Internships are great. They're just great to have on your resume. It's great experience. It's your foot in the door in an industry, and it helps you really decide if this is a path you want to go into. It's kind of like a trial run, excuse me. So like, if you're interested in the nonprofit sector, like me, I have done internships and apprenticeships in the nonprofit sector, and most definitely was like a trial run of the experience of what it's like. And it's helping me understand, what are my next steps as I step into my career. Is this the right place for me? Is this not the right place for me? What am I looking for? What's going to nourish me? What's not going to nourish me? And internships are a great way to get your feet wet and to know if like this is an area you want to go into. So I highly encourage getting internships for your self-growth, and then also because it looks good on your resume. Number 4, volunteer work. So if you can't get an internship, I highly encourage volunteering. They're not the same thing, but they look both great on a resume. And like, I'd say if you can't get that internship, then do that volunteer work and just go into that realm and just have lots of volunteer experience on your resume. But if, say, you don't have time to volunteer because you have an internship, well, that's great, and just make sure you work really hard and have that on your resume. So like, you can do both. If you have the time and the capacity to do both, great. But if you don't worry. I think one or the other is great. Now, I'm not like an employer, and I'm not like someone high up in academia, so these are my personal opinions, but I think, and from my experience of working in the nonprofit sector for the last year or so in an internship and apprenticeship role, volunteer experience looks great on a resume. I know for a fact that I got hired at my last apprenticeship position because of the fact that I did 8 months of volunteer work at a nonprofit. And that 8 months of volunteer work started off as a 3-month apprenticeship, which then turned into me being a volunteer staff member for the following 5 months. And I know for a fact that that is why my last supervisor was like, okay, I want to bring you on board. And it's simply because that volunteer work shows my commitment, my passion, my dedication. If I'm willing to work for free for 8 months, 2 years, whatever, it shows how dedicated I am. So it would make a future employer want to bring you on board if you are working on projects that are really passion-based or social justice-based, or just really need people who are 120% in. So volunteer work is great. If you can have volunteer work and internships at the same time, that's awesome. If you can't do both, if you don't get an internship, just volunteer. Find a food bank, find a a pantry to work in, or some coalition that's maybe distributing meals or making care packages. Like, there's so many things you can do. It really depends where you live and what resources are around you, but there's a wide variety of ways to volunteer. There's even virtual volunteerment now. Like, that's the thing because of COVID, is like there's virtual things you can do that count as volunteering technically. So your options are really limitless. I'm going to go ahead and move on to number 5. And number 5 is work a job. So a lot of people work during their undergraduate year because they have to. I worked since I was like 16, but I worked all 4 years through college, and I highly encourage it for folks who maybe don't have to work because they're financially doing okay. I would still encourage you to work a job because you will develop really strong time management skills. If you're not working and you're just kind of going to class and doing this and doing that, well, what happens after school when then you get a job or you get a full-time job and you've like never like had to, utilize time management as well as you would have had you been working and in school prior? Like, I just don't want anyone's first experience with time management to be a full-time job right after college and they never worked during school and they never, had to balance all these different elements. I think it's really important to work for your own development just because you have something to put on your resume. Even if it's not like in your future career field, it's something to put on your resume. You're getting valuable experience. You're getting employers who know you, who hopefully like you and would give you, a positive reference. And then eventually, you can move up. Like, you may start off working, in a fast food restaurant, but because you have that experience and you did that for 2 years, when you apply for a job at, say this daycare, they see, wow, she's worked really hard at this place for 2 years. She doesn't quite have experience with kids, but she loves kids. Let's give her a shot, compared to someone who's coming in with no work experience but just likes kids. Like, when you have work experience combined with education, combined with passion, you are a more viable candidate than someone who just has a degree but has never worked before. So please work a job. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to it besides just the professional development and getting, letters of reference. You're making an income, you're developing time management skills, you're making friends, you're learning how to balance your life, because when you work and you're in school, you really do have to develop that balance, and it's not always true for everyone. Some people do have an imbalance where they work more than they can do their schoolwork, or they work too little, but ultimately the goal is to have a balance where you can, work hard, study hard, play hard, have fun. And when you create that balance, you can enjoy yourself, you can have fun, because, I earned that. I earned that shit. I worked hard all week. I studied hard all week. I did my best on my exams, and now I'm going to go hang out with my friends and have fun. And I just feel like it makes those fun times and those moments you get to play hard a lot more worthwhile and meaningful, because it's not like you're just partying all the time. You don't have a lot of time to party because you work and you're in school. So when you do have time to have fun and kick back and, go wild, it's a lot more fun, in my opinion. Next, 6. Study hard. Develop good study habits. It's going to take a while to develop if you're a freshman, unless you went to like a high school that like super prepared you for college, but I didn't. So it took me a while to develop my study habits, probably a year, really, maybe a year and a half, to figure out what worked for me, and what works for me will not work for you or everyone else. We're all very different. We all have different learning styles, different memory capacities, different things that help us like remember and kind of lock things in our mind. So figure that out about yourself and then utilize that. If you know that you only work the best when you go to the library at 8 a.m. every Saturday and Sunday, then you'll better be damned if you're not at that library every Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. So, like, if you know these things about yourself, then make it a consistent habit, because school's going to get hard. Your exams are going to stack up. Your coursework's going to stack up. You're going to be tired from work. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to have personal issues. Life is crazy. So it's important to develop like quality study habits that you can always lean on. And if you know that the best way you study is at home alone, or at the library with your friends, or going down to a coffee shop, or whatever it is, then do it consistently. Don't fail yourself by just kind of like having all these wishy-washy study habits. Like, you need to be consistent with your study habits so you can be consistent with how you produce your grades and quality coursework, and ultimately how you exist in life. Because if you're falling behind in your courses because you're inconsistent with the way you study, it's going to affect how you feel emotionally, mentally. You're going to be walking around with this kind of brain fog of just like feeling like you're all over the place. Because I really do think that like one part of your life is going to affect every other element of your life. So do your best to organize your time and study hard in school so you can feel good in other parts of your day, so you're not stressing all the time or feeling like you're constantly making up work or falling behind, because that is a super like true feeling for a lot of people. Like, a lot of people constantly feel like they're just catching up, they can barely catch a breath. So avoid that. Study hard and develop good time management skills, and those two, they go in between. They don't go in between, they work together. I mean, like, if you're going to have good study habits, it's likely that you need to have good time management skills, and they work together. So carve out days of the week, like Saturday and Sunday, to do your homework. Study hard, bring your headphones, bring your highlighters, your pens, whatever, your whiteboard, whatever you use to really dive into your material, bring that, do it, and be consistent. Number 7, extracurriculars. This is clubs, organizations, sororities, fraternities, whatever. I was never in a sorority or like clubs per se, but I was participating in an organization that did a lot of protests and organizing protests and working with the union at my school. And that was a really great experience. And it helped me really figure out kind of the direction I want to go with my life. Although I'm not entirely sure yet on my exact career, I do feel like it helped push me in the direction that I do want to be in. I made valuable friendships. You learn a lot. And it's also another way to develop time management, because if you work and you're in school and then you have this extracurricular going on, you really have to figure out how to balance these things so you can give your best to every component that you are involved in. So I just think those are great for your own personal development, especially if you're exploring something new, like a new organization or kind of a new lifestyle. Maybe you're into sustainability now. Okay, join a sustainability organization and learn about, how to increase your sustainability on campus. If you're interested in organizing and activism, join a group that's interested in organizing protests and working with different groups across campuses or across, universities statewide to create, universal change within the college or within the cities. Like, there's so many different like issues and areas of interest that clubs and organizations have. So find one that fits with you, join it, make some friendships, get some experience, and just do it for fun. If you don't like it, you leave. If you like it, then you have a valuable experience and you made some good friends. Number 8, friendships. Make friends. I've made my best friends in college. A lot of people make their best friends in college. Make friends. Don't be shy. Don't stay in your room and game all day or stay on your phone on TikTok all day. Like, make friends. Push yourself. And the best way to make friends is by working, is by, participating in organizations or clubs or going out to, events. So do things like that. Make friends. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Because trust me, you're going to make some great friends. And college, I would think, is pretty lame if you didn't have friends. Like, I had so many great memories with my friends, so many fun things we did, concerts, hikes, parties. Like, not that I'm encouraging partying, but like, have your fun. Like, you're in college, go to parties if you want, try out new things. Obviously, be balanced about it, stay true to yourself, but have fun, make friends. Create memories, because you only have this time in your life to do that. Because when you're 23, 24, 25 and you're working a full-time job, or you moved out, or you're, working this job and this job, making ends meet, you're not going to have time to party. You're not going to have time to go on hikes with your friends or go ponder life in the woods and paint. Like, do those things. Just please do those things. Number 9, is 9, new experiences / go out of your comfort zone. And I already touched on that, but like, yeah, do things you wouldn't otherwise do. I mean, when you go to college, no one knows who you are. When you're, leaving and moving X amount of hours away to go to school, you're leaving behind that old identity that people used to know you by. Maybe you were the band nerd like me. You were a band nerd and you were studious and you got your work done and you were a good kid. That was me. Well, now you go to college, ain't no one know who you are, so you can be whoever the hell you want to be. If you want to be that kid who's, thinking about life and pondering life and smoking weed in the woods, not that I'm encouraging that, then, that's your identity and you have the ability to create that because no one knows who you are. You're not like labeled by this old identity that you once had at your previous hometown or your high school or whatever. So try new things, push yourself out of your comfort zone because no one's going to be judging you. Like everyone else is in the same boat of like, this is new. I don't know anyone here. No one knows who I am. I'm trying new things. So, go to that club, join this organization, go to that concert, go to that party and have fun, go make this friend, go protest, do whatever you want. As long as you're being safe and you're keeping other people safe and you're not harming yourself. Because I fully encourage people to try the things they want to do. If you want to smoke weed, smoke weed. If you want to try fucking shrooms, excuse my language, try shrooms. But as long as you're being safe about it and you're safe with the people who are around you and you're not causing harm to yourself or someone else and you're not, affecting your grades or your personal development, then by all means try these things because you never probably will be able to again. But please be smart and safe about it. Don't turn into a drug addict in college because all that freedom, because that happens. Okay. 10, stay true to yourself. Your people will find you. Sorry, the gardeners are doing something out there outside my apartment, so I'm sorry for the background noise. I'm going to try and edit it out. But my last point is stay true to yourself. So, as mentioned, when you go to school, no one knows who you are or who you were in your hometown, what old, labels people put on you. You're entirely new and molding your identity in this new space with people you never knew, and you have a lot of freedom. And that freedom is great. It's really exciting to, be who you want to be and try all these new things and not be limited. But please stay true to yourself. Don't turn into someone you're not. Don't let go of your morals and values just because, you stumbled upon some kids who are in school and they're doing the same thing. If you believe in something, stay believing in that. You can still try new things and go out of your comfort zone while still being true to yourself. So that's just a huge piece of advice. Is your people will find you. Your soul tribe will find you. You're going to meet the people that you click with, that you guys vibe together and you guys can do whatever it is you like to do together. Game, smoke, hike, art, protest, whatever. You'll find those people. But stay true to yourself. Don't be fake. Don't be inauthentic, trying to be someone you're not just so you can have some type of social group to hang around with. Because ultimately, that's not going to feed your soul. It will drain you. So even if it takes a minute to make those true friends of yours, stay true to yourself. If you find people who invite you to hang out, but you realize, ooh, I don't really like them, or I don't really like how they engage with each other, or maybe they do too many drugs, I don't like that. Great. Stay true to yourself. Don't hang out with them because your people will find you. The worst thing you can do is be inauthentic and untrue to yourself and then end up kind of going down this rabbit hole of just kind of losing your mind and your values because you stayed hanging out with the people who weren't good for you, and now you're failing out of your classes, smoking weed every day, spent all your money on drugs or whatever it is because you have all this freedom, and now you're just in a trap. Because that happens. These things happen. I've met people who've come to school completely just couldn't handle it, too much freedom, went crazy, hung around with the wrong people, and had to leave. I've met people like that in my freshman year. And then I've met people who maybe had a little too much freedom, calmed down, got their shit together, stayed true to themselves, and were amazingly successful and just great, amazing, authentic people. So you kind of have to figure out who you want to be. With that being said, I hope these tips were helpful to whoever watched this. These aren't the sole truth. This is just my truth, and if it resonates with you, then that's great. Please take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. I ultimately just want people to be successful, and I want to share some big sister wisdom that I've learned with incoming college students or current college students who just feel like they need some more guidance. So just to wrap up, I'm just going to say 10 of them quickly, and just that'll be it. So our number 1 is network with your professors. Number 2, mentors. Number 3, internships. Number 4, volunteer. Number 5, work a job. Number 6, develop good study habits and study hard. Number 7 is extracurriculars. Number 8 is friendships. Number 9 is new experiences. Get out of your comfort zone. And number 10 is stay true to yourself. Thanks for watching and take care.